Welcome to another edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Dujane Bland, and we're going to be discussing Saturday's matchups, and we're going to first start with the Baltimore Ravens taking on the 12-4 New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium. The New England Patriots have been 18-8 in their playoff appearances in the last few years. Second, the Baltimore Ravens 15-7. So both of these teams seem to have been on this collision course for the last couple of years of playing each other in the playoffs. Now this year, 500 road record for the Baltimore Ravens, but we all know from previous matchups, especially recently here, that the Ravens, it doesn't matter what their road record is. They've gone into Gillette Stadium and handed a few losses to the New England Patriots. Now, what is going to be the key to this game is, first, for the Baltimore Ravens, is Flacco playing like Flacco of 2 years ago in the playoffs, where he had a phenomenal playoff year, played stellar, mistake-free football, and played like he wanted a new contract, and also earned that Super Bowl money as well. Now, they're going to have to play solid football, mistake-free football. Now, they didn't run the ball that well, although the running game helped them last week, but they're going to have to do that this week against this New England Patriots defense. We know they have great corners on the outside, named Darrelle Revis is the most sought after one, and they're going to have to really keep that New England defense on their toes. Secondly, Baltimore Ravens defense has to play well. We know what Tom Brady can do. We know what Bill Belichick can do with 2 weeks and 2 weeks to prepare. But as we all know, in previous matchups, that hasn't seemed to matter. So what's going to be the key factor here? I think with both teams, the key is not turning the ball over. Of course, you don't want to give Brady too much time to be able to come back and be able to slaughter you. So best defense for the Ravens is a great offensive onslaught, having a good time of possession, and obviously making the most of their possessions as well, and definitely getting them off the field. Now, who do I think is going to win this football game? As much as I would like to pick the Ravens, I just don't see it. I think the New England Patriots, before coming out of the regular season, was on a nice little roll there. I think they're hungry this year. They have Gronk. They have a lot of other unsung heroes who are making plays for them, and Tom Brady is doing what Tom Brady does. And one extra thing they have has been a running game. And I think that's going to be the factor here. New England can run the ball and run the ball effectively and keep that Ravens defense off balance. You're going to find that the New England Patriots are going to win this football game. And that's who I'm taking, Patriots over the Ravens in this one. Our next matchup on Saturday, Carolina Panthers, 7-8-1, take on the 12-4 Seattle Seahawks. Carolina kind of stumbled in and was the best of the worst in their division, getting that and winning that division. And they won last week. They were at home. Thought they did an excellent job, but I mean, we also have to look at the different things that the Arizona Cardinals were going through there. I know they won with 3 different quarterbacks, but let's be real. They were on their third string quarterback. Didn't play very well in that game, which gave them an opportunity, the Carolina Panthers, to get a win at home. Now they're going to go to Seattle. Seattle is looking like Seattle of last year, playing very well, playing like that Super Bowl team. It took them a while. They missed a few pieces on defense. They weren't exactly the same, but as you can see, they're starting to play like the Super Bowl team of last year, and they're heating up right at the right time. Now, I know Carolina says, hey, we play in crowd noise all the time, and this shouldn't be anything new. Well, it is going to be something new, and it's going to be a factor. We know it's a factor for every team that seems to go up there to play Seattle in Seattle. Now, I know there were some teams that had success this year, 4 of them to be exact, and 1 that's in the playoffs. But I just don't see this being a very good or a very close game at all. Carolina's not consistent with anything. Running game is not consistent. Cam can't be consistent in the passing game because protection's not consistent and the receivers aren't consistent. Can't rely on their defense, which is solid, but you can't rely on their defense to do everything. They're not going to be able to score enough points, and we know that the best way to keep Seattle from getting on that roll is to not allow beast mode and that core to get themselves going, and that's definitely going to happen. There's going to be a lot of 3 and outs for the Carolina Panthers. Defense is too quick. They have too many great corners and safeties out there that play sound football, and they play their scheme very well. I just think this is probably going to be the worst game of the weekend, and it's probably going to be out of hand by mid-third quarter, maybe even going into halftime. Who knows? But I'm not banking on the Carolina Panthers to do much of anything in this game. They'll fight for the first quarter and a half, but in the end, it's going to be the Seattle Seahawks, and I think the Seattle Seahawks big. Well, that's going to be our show for this edition. We appreciate you guys looking at this show and watching it. It's going to be some great games, so don't miss any of them. If you want to have some comments on what we talked about today, leave some comments at the bottom of the show. Of course, share, like, subscribe. Again, thank you very much for watching another edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk.